Well, that's abrupt. That is kind of abrupt.
We don't have Danny to mix it, so
Yeah, it just kind of happens. Guys, placeholder title, placeholder theme song. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Rewatchers Council, LGRN's full Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch, all 144 episodes and a bit, because we'll talk about a bit. We'll talk about maybe a bit more today, as long as you poor students did your homework. I hope you did.
I
I
did not,
I didn't.
unfortunately.
You
Unfortunately,
are
I did not.
a monster, and I resent it to you. You are the one of the worst of history's monsters. Okay, so the harvest, the second part of the I guess the two-part series premiere.
Hmm.
So it's directed by two different people. So there's that. I guess they made it, so that was going to be different episodes. A guy named Jonty Kretschmer directed this one. It aired March 10th, 1997, guys. So if you remember where you were then, it beats me where I was. But the number one movie at the time, a movie that I had actually waited till it was out on Blockbuster, and actually somebody else rented it, and it was fine. I'd never heard of this guy before, but the number one movie was Private Parts, the Howard
The
Stern
Howard Stern
Howard
biopic.
Stern biopic, starring himself as he lives the dream, performing as Howard Stern. The two number one songs were unchanged. The U.S. number one song, "Still Wanna Be" by the Spice Girls, classic, classic. Come on. And in the UK, No Doubts, "Don't Speak." But it's its last.
Why are we bringing up the
Do you not
the
listen to anything?
no, but when you keep bringing up the UK number one, who cares?
Because the UK number ones are great, and they're
Yeah,
usually quite different than what the Americans have, and I
but I don't
usually prefer
care.
it more. Like
But
I
I
could
don't
not
care.
care how many times Mariah Carey goes to number one. I could not. I can't care for it at all. But then again, we got no doubt. So what are you gonna do? All right. The DVD synopsis for The Harvest. A stranger named Angel tells Buffy that if she does not stop the harvest, the Hellmouth will open and the Master will roam free, guys. So high stakes.
Yeah, high stakes.
Pretty high stakes. And boy, oh boy, it starts off where that blood curdling cliffhanger left us last week on Welcome to the Hellmouth with Luke. He's in the crypt. You're saying amen. He's being all pretty scary. He's about to bite her and puts his hand on the silver cross, which is conveniently just there. Burns his hand. Buffy just kicks him
Hey
off and he
man,
runs
hey
away.
plot armor, man. Plot armor is the greatest.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Hmm.
Uh, were you scared for Buffy's life?
No,
No. All right.
no, I wasn't. I wasn't
I
scared for her
mean,
life.
it's hard to be scared about her life in a cliffhanger in a show that's named after her in the very first episode.
It could have been about they're just honoring her memory. Honor her memory for 142 episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They
No,
could. Yeah, this is a big memorial
I
for
think that
Buffy.
that might not be a bad idea for the show. Have somebody come in, look super great and stuff like that, kill him off in the first episode, and then just have a whole bunch of people talk about him for the next 100. Probably be a lot cheaper. Uh, they go through the graveyards here and stuff like that. Everybody's still running for safety. So the graveyard, they actually use a graveyard in that first season. They use a graveyard in Hollywood, but they have to go, do it overnight and stuff like that. They end up like the graveyard set. You'll probably know, Adelia, was actually just built in one of the parking lots
hmm
outside the studio and stuff like that. It was just more convenient that way. A couple of non-dusty killings in this episode. I
Uh,
wasn't a huge fan of that. They had the technology, guys. They already showed they can do it.
Yeah.
are you talking about the pool stick and
Well, that one is so clear. It's such an easy joke. Why don't you just drop? You can make the sound and then just drop the pool cue. Like
yeah?
it's there.
Yeah.
Why should them fall backwards? I don't know. Whatever. What are you gonna do? But back, Jesse has been kidnapped by Darla and taken down
Uh-huh.
into the tunnels that lay all below conveniently Sunnydale. They run the gamut of the entire city. I'm not sure. I was trying to think back. how often they actually talk about this stuff, I don't think they really talk about it much after these
The
first couple.
tunnels. They don't talk
The
about the
tun-
tunnels.
They don't. Yeah, they don't really show vampires sneaking through the tunnels. And sometimes they'll talk about sewers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Usually they just go around at night, like proper gentleman vampires. Uh, we also get lots of exposition. They finally end up in the library. There'll be lots of scenes in that library in the first
Yes.
3 years for us.
I like me a good library.
It's a fine library. Yeah, usually don't have the director of the British Museum as a child's librarian. Also, let's talk this. Rewatching. Like, here we are, Rewatchers Council. Is it a little creepy? Is Giles a little creepy? He seems to get pretty close to those teenage girls.
Yo, thank you. He was all up in Allison Hannigan's face.
Well, there's that one. Like she's on the computer and he's right over and
Mhm.
stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
and then there was the scene at the Bronze with Buffy.
Mhm.
It's like
Hey
the same
man,
thing. It's like
hey, I just want to
you
point
gotta
out.
hone. You can't. You're not
I want
honing.
to point out Giles is the same
Yeah.
actor who plays Rupert from Ted Lasso. And if you know anything about Rupert from Ted Lasso, he likes them young.
And if you know anything about Rupert from Ted Lasso, his name is also Rupert on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That is true. His
There you
name is
go.
his name is
You
Rupert.
only had that way. You only have to remember one name, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Tony Head, fantastic actor.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to his own character's name, he really has to get it. He has to have like a very few amount of choices.
I only
Like
accept
Rupert
if
or
its name
Tony.
is Rupert. Yeah, it's just like either I only respect roles about Rupert.
That's right. So he gives a little exposition. He starts telling people about the world and the true history of the world, where it was, demon world first, and the last of the demons to go fed on the blood of a human,
Mm-hmm.
mixing their blood with theirs, creating a new kind called the vampire, and who's takes over their body but doesn't take possession of their soul or something like that. I don't know. I think this part gets a little played with and stuff like that. This is only the second episode. What are you gonna do with these guys? And then we get to see a little bit more of the Master. You saw him a bit in Welcome to the Hellmouth. You see him quite a bit more in this one. Very, it's Mark Metcalf being Mark Metcalf and stuff like that. So good lines in here. I like the I'm your faithful dog. You give me scraps. That's a good one. Darla, and as a character, I'm a big fan of Darla. But these first couple episodes do not really do her justice when she's kind of like a cheerleader for somebody else. She's much better when she's kind of on her own, doing her own thing. But we won't spoil any of that for that.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, can we talk about how y'all keep talking about how Cordelia is a good person when all she does is just a piece of shit these past 2 episodes?
She has incredible growth as a person.
Okay, all
throughout
right,
the
okay,
series.
all right. I can't wait till the growth because she's an a-hole. Like
She's
a mess.
annoying, and she's been very annoying.
No, don't. She's not annoying, Adelia. She's like a bad person. She tells Allison Hannigan's character Willow, who gave you permission to exist.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
Yeah.
She is a horrible person.
Yep, that scene also introduces Harmony, Harmony Kimball, by Mercedes McNabb and stuff like that. She'll be a semi-regular for quite a bit. I love, we were talking about the growth of characters and stuff like that. I love Harmony in the show. Here's a quick trivia for you two. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys just looked on IMDb like me. Her father won the 1970 League Cup and FA Cup for what team?
No idea.
Sorry, it was 1971.
Everton.
Pardon me, it was 1971.
Everton.
He was an Arsenal guy. So there you go.
Oh. Who is he?
I might have gotten that if you'd said the right year at first.
Yeah. 1970. Who won the 1970?
No idea.
Pretty sure Chelsea.
You probably know.
Pretty sure Chelsea won the 1970.
Wait, who is this? Who's her father?
I can't remember his name. McNabb. Yeah.
Then what the
Can't
hell's
remember.
that fun fact mean anything to me, Rob?
I will look it up.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't care. I wasn't gonna go look for it. It wasn't a Chelsea guy.
I mean, I don't care about 1978 FA. Well, actually, I do care about the
Why
1979.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's an FA
Insane.
Cup. It's an FA Cup.
You care about that.
Her father's name was Bob McNabb.
There you go, Bob. Bob.
Shout out to you, Bob.
Yeah. All right. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning, guys, of like using the web and stuff like that. Like in 1997, I'm trying to think if I ever even used the web by then. But turns out Willow knows a couple of things. She finds out more about the tunnels and stuff like that by going online. She says they said to her, "How do you know this stuff?" And she said she accidentally decrypted the city council's security system.
Will is a hacker.
But what would the city council secure? Why would she be interested? What would make her in the city council's security system? Maybe she's an anarchist. She was always an anarchist, I guess. It hurt.
Down,
trying
down,
to bring
down with the government.
Yeah, she's trying to bring it down from the inside. All right, that's fine. So for some reason they have trouble figuring out where the vampires came from. Buffy figures it out, considers herself mentally challenged for not doing it, and then tries to go, but Principal Flutie stops her. This isn't a. I don't know who I asked
Bob
about this before. That's not an American thing, though, right? To seal students in to a campus. No. And they're never allowed to leave campus.
It is.
What?
It might be in California, but it's not where I grew up.
There's a couple of times where you would close the gate.
There were no gates on my school campus.
Yeah,
we talking high school, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're what are they? 15 years old. Freshmen? Is that they're in grade 10?
14.
Sophomore?
They're sophomores.
15.
Sophomore.
Yeah, they're about 15.
They're sophomores. Yeah, they're in grade 10. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
Sophomores. You can't go up. Of course, it doesn't matter to Buffy because now she has superpowers. Unlike the movie, she has superpowers.
Did she do a backflip?
Not this time. She does an awful well. I was listening to the commentary and stuff like that, and it's like
so she
there's a few backflips, maybe not necessary. Go ahead.
No, because when she lands on her feet, she lands facing the fence, right? So does that mean she jumped straight up and hovered and came down, or did she she jump up and do a backflip?
Well, it's unseen. You can determine it in your own head. If she did, I'm gonna say this.
That's crazy.
She does two other backflips, at least two other backflips in this episode that were unnecessary.
I just want to point out, I love when she squares up against Luke, where she's like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is this? Like what is this? And she was hilarious.
Listen, she got the job done. Spoiler alert for the end of the episode. She gets the job done by doing this, so don't mess with her, man. I just wanted to take also a quick mention. I think it should honor Xander's shirt, that green shirt with the big long mushrooms on it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Also, how incredibly fast is Xander Harris? Because Buffy can jump. Buffy can run super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow he beats her in the middle of the tunnels. And she had a conversation with Angel, who's standing in a very sunlit room.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, he was probably skateboarding.
They did. Oh, yeah, very good. Now, they did not know what they were going to do with Angel at first. And I think this is quite obvious from this scene. They get better. They get better at it. Yeah,
he's just in the shadows.
I don't know if he was in the shadows.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know if he was.
He literally came out of the shadows and talked to her.
Yeah, he may have came out of the shadows, but he was not standing in them when he was talking to her. He was quite lit up. Yeah. It was not the best. You get a quick scene of the Book of Thoth, that big book that Giles has or whatever, that kind of tells you exactly what everything's going on with this stuff. We talked about our little friend Harmony. So let's go on. What did you think? I don't think I had computer class like this when I was a kid. I was already out of school by then. So
I did. I
yeah.
did. I
Did
had a
they have
computer
the
class
same?
like that.
Did you have to do the same kind of things, and then you couldn't figure out hit save, and someone told you hit the deliver button as a joke? The deliver
No,
button.
no.
That shit was
We
hilarious.
weren't writing programs in my computer class either.
I hate
They were
writing.
teaching us how to use a word processor.
And that whole time, like they're giving Willow shit, and all of a sudden there's this stoner guy talking to him. The stoner guy who somehow was able to talk with Cordelia, who you would imagine would never in the world, like in the world that you know of Cordelia, would never let this guy just lean up against her and start talking to her and stuff like that. Also, this guy never seen again. This is the only time you see this guy. I had to look up what his name was, and it's Jeffrey Stephen Smith.
The character or the actor?
The actor. The character just I think is just known as Stoner Guy. He's done the only shows I saw him do were like Sliders and like Sabrina and stuff like that.
Oh wow, Sabrina, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that get intermingled and stuff like that. Yeah, the guy who directed this episode did shit like Hunter and then Xena and Hercules, and he's still doing it. Like there must be 2-3 dozen shows on there or whatever. He's doing Riverdale now. I think he's a producer on Riverdale. So there you go.
Nice.
So guys, we've had our first Scooby. Not even really a Scooby go down. Jesse, unfortunately, didn't make it. He's been turned into a vampire. Pretty upsetting stuff. Pretty devastating stuff. They were going to add Jesse's name to the credits at the beginning of the year and stuff like that until they were told changing credits is extremely expensive. So they said, "No, it's not worth it. It's a 2-episode joke. What are you gonna do?" So they didn't do it.
Makes sense.
They, I don't know if. Okay, 2 times. I can think of 2 times they changed the episodes. Like they changed the title cards in season, and it's just for that 1 episode, I believe. I'm trying to remember if maybe they added Tara's name at some point, but yeah, they do not screw with it or whatever. But it gets better. What are you gonna do? So, guys, she escapes. There's that huge chase or whatever in the tunnels and stuff like that. Tells Xander he's a new man and stuff like that, and you get to see how badly they talk with the fangs in them and stuff like that. So, there's that fight through the door. Gets out. You see a vampire hit the sun or whatever, but still hold his hand up there for a bit and then drag his hand in slowly. It's like, oh, those are the kind of things I just never got or whatever. It's like, why do you have to bring it in slowly? It's like, Jesus Christ. I think that works just as well. But what are you going to do? I'm sitting here in my basement. So.
And you haven't seen the sun in years.
I'm as allergic to the sun as a goddamn vampire. Yeah. We are very closely related. Also, our insatiable need for blood. So,
sounds right.
Yeah, that's right. They okay. So they all regroup and they go back to the library again. Vander's pissed. His buddy's a vampire. Guys, got to go to the Bronze because that's where everyone's gonna go. Everyone goes to the Bronze. There's nowhere else to go anyway. So where else the vampire's gonna go? They're going to the Bronze. But first, Buffy has to go home, and you guys didn't see the movie, but Buffy's mom in the movie does not give a shit about anything. She is, a total California head in the clouds. Like, there is no way that she was an art museum director. So, this time, Buffy's mom gives a shit. She's like, you can't go. You got to stay. You're grounded. It's like, fine. She pulls out the thing or whatever. You see the little girly kind of trunk or whatever underneath her stakes and stuff like that, including, and I saw this when I was rewatching it this time, and I have no idea why, a huge jar of communal wafers. What's she going to fight with communal wafers? Unless she's just peckish.
No, the communal wafers, in the heat of the battle, you need a snack.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they're salt and vinegar flavored.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know what it is.
Very good. Yep, back to the bar. I do say, like, I do like that little walk up or whatever. They're playing that that total 90s tune or whatever, and as the vampires are walking up to the bouncer and stuff like that, I like that scene. So they're inside.
I did notice this time too. They were checking people's IDs as they were going into the bronze for these underage kids.
Yeah, you can't have 11-year-olds. There's standards.
Sense.
There's standards. You can't have an 11-year-old at the bronze.
Homie says, "Let me see your IDs," as he's checking his money. The ID means just give me a 20.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, you're as old as Andrew Jackson. All right, very good. Very good. So everybody's at the bronze. You see a little bit of vampire Jamie, bit of game. You know, he's telling Cordelia, shut up, and I'll dance with you, why not? So, and all of a sudden, oh, well, here comes Vamp Jesse, it's over. Anyways, here's Luke, he hits the stage. It's like, yours is going to be a glorious sacrifice for this master guy, guys, don't worry about it. We're just going to drink all your blood and stuff like that. This is the last night any of you guys are going to see. Buffy throws some guy off the balcony thing there, and then says, I'll be right down, takes a minute, turns around, puts his hands down, does the backflip onto the pool table. That is, again.
No, it was funny thing about the scene.
Unnecessary.
Every time they cut to the crowd of people, they all look the same. They all had the same face of horrified nature. Like, it was pretty funny. It's like, did y'all like recycle the shot? Like, you guys recycled the shot here, didn't you? It was pretty funny.
There may be a few. Recycled shots. So the rest of the Scoobies are going in and stuff like that. I like the one line from Giles here where he tells Xander, it's like, when you're looking at your friend, you're not looking at him. You're looking at the thing that killed him. I like that. So what are we? Oh, we're actually getting through this one pretty good. Yeah. And saves Cordelia. Cordelia is just allowed to like run off and stuff like that. A superhero pose that when she lands or whatever too on the pool table. There's a couple one of those. Then that no dust kill with the pool cue. And then one of the fun kills, especially of the first season, when they had to have her take a symbol and throw it or whatever, and they just show the symbol going towards the guy's neck, and Xander with the bondish quip, heads up. Come on. That's just good stuff. Then I said that Willow gave Darla a bit of the old smoky eye. Throws the holy water on her face. I thought it was good. I like her screaming off and stuff like that. It was fun. And now Jesse, of course, is Jesse and Xander's trying to talk his way into Jesse's vampire heart, and don't make me kill you. And of course, the accident happens. He goes forward. Here's the deal. I said that Jesse, if he was to live, like if he was never a vampire, wouldn't have long to live, because he has either an extremely large or misplaced heart, because that stake was about here. The entire, like, but he bumps into him, he's automatically dust, and the spike disappears for some reason. That not saying that, but yeah, I always thought it was a little lower. But I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not a doctor. I thought it was a little lower though. And then of course, Buffy takes out Luke. I put it on the thing. My favorite line of the series so far. You forgot about sunrise. It's in about 9 hours. Moron. I guess the showrunner had the idea to say that in the movie. It wasn't used, so he recycled it here. I thought it worked pretty well. And again, it's another 5, 6, 7 step drop, and then no Luke. Harvest averted, guys. Sunnydale safe. Not just Sunnydale, but gosh darn it, the entire world.
The entire world.
The entire world. Ferris, what did you think of the harvest?
The episode or the actual event?
Well, let's say the episode. The actual event, is a little. We just have to get through this. Sure.
I quite enjoyed the actual episode. It was very, very straightforward. It was just a continuation of episode 1.
Yeah.
I liked it. Showing us more of her personality, where she's talking smack to Luke. She's like, "Oh, I'll be right down." Give me one moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny. You could see Willow start growing out of her shell where she calls out Cordelia in computer class. So that's pretty nice. And then
Yeah.
Xander being Xander, trying to evolve and be a better person, and he blames himself for his friend becoming a vampire. But you got to move on, man. You got to keep it moving.
Yeah. Don't even give yourself a minute
Uh-huh.
to mourn. You got to keep going on. That's what life's about. Mourning your friend's death for over a minute. Are you kidding me? Now, Delia, you and I watched this episode together.
We did.
That was your first time watching it on
Mhm.
the I'm assuming you rewatched it. I'm assuming you're not just thinking back to when we watched this a couple months
No,
ago.
no, I rewatched it earlier today.
Still enjoy the episode. Did you have any kind of problems with the episode?
I did thoroughly enjoy the episode. I really enjoyed that it's in about 9 hours more on Quip.
Mm-hmm.
And how Angel knew that she averted the harvest because the vampires were running away from the bronze.
Yeah.
Um,
That was the last scene they shot, I guess, of the entire first season. They had to come back and do a whole bunch of other stuff because this episode was really light, I guess. They added a whole bunch of stuff. There's one of the scenes with Xander with the green shirt. You see how his hair was, and then how his hair was at the end of the episode. I was like, yeah, that doesn't fit. There's just a few things. That thing where the master plucks the guy's eye out, but you never see that guy before or after. You're just mad enough to pluck a guy's eye out. Yeah, that was added on as well. So they added a whole bunch of stuff. They
So
also
did he kill him? Did he kill him, or is there a vampire with no eye?
No idea. No idea.
That's weird.
Yeah, you don't see him. At least I don't remember him ever coming back. Also, this episode again shows off the I call it the willful amnesia, where people will blissfully forget everything they saw and they just make up in their own mind some kind of excuse. Buffy was talking about it before, like it could be gangs or rabies and stuff like that. Everybody in Sunnydale just has a thing or whatever where they can do this they can live in this world and have excuses for it so they get by. So there you go. Now I think they do remember it comes out in a couple of years. You might hear a little more about it. So the homework that was sent Ferris was the unaired pilot that was produced in 96 by the showrunner. Did it himself so that he could shop it to networks. But 25 minutes long. It's basically the 2 episodes, but no master. What else? There's no Jesse. What else? There's no graveyards. There's what else do we have? We have a new Willow, or not a new Willow. We have a different Willow, and her name is like Riff Regan. Riff Regan, guys. I'm glad that she got a role. I'm glad that she didn't get to keep this one because I could not imagine her as Willow any more than she was. She was like, how can you be that timid but not timid enough? It was strange. It was strange. That's just not who Willow is. So the only things I could see from this girl, she was also on some episodes of a show called Sisters and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh,
and maybe an episode
with Jane Seymour.
Sure, with Jane Seymour. But she retired from acting in 2003. Last I heard, she was working for an HIV thing in Washington D.C. or something like that. So good for her. A couple of the jokes are the same. Some land, like you forgot your steak thing. I thought was still good, but the softer side of Sears, one of my favorite jokes of the entire series, does not land at all. It is flat. And just the licensed music. So the title or whatever is this a little flash thing that says Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're playing Salvation by Rancid. For some reason, that's the original theme song to the Buffy the Vampire
That's strange
show. It didn't make any sense. They also have a Cypress Hill song, a Bob Mould song. Stephen Tobolowsky as Principal Flutie, I thought was hilarious.
You can call me Bob.
Oh, Ned Ryerson.
Mm-hmm.
Ned Ryerson. And he's also the professor from that Community episode where Who is the Boss or whatever. I love that episode as well. But yeah, he's been in everything. Too many stuff to name. One thing I'll say about it, like there's a few things or whatever, like I think they're looking at maybe a different relationship. Oh yeah, there was no Angel or whatever. Maybe a different relationship between Buffy and Xander. I think they saw that didn't work. It's okay to just have friends be friends. I like that. They show a couple of click things, and I guess that's something they decided to get away from in the actual show when they got it. It's like they don't want to promote like clicks and stuff like that. So they kind of got rid of that. You see Jonathan Quick. Jonathan, I will explain to him more when he's actually properly introduced. Ferris, you just see him very quick.
The goalie for the LA Kings?
Not yet. You see Jonathan Quick. Stanley Cup winning goaltender.
That's awesome.
No, that is not him. What's his name? Danny Strong. He's now a pretty successful producer in Hollywood. Yeah, the vampires taking Willow to the school auditorium or whatever, but she's like, are we gonna make out now? Like she was getting aggressive. Like, yeah, that just didn't feel like her at all. Willow kills Darla in this with a crucifix. You can hear her puddle out. Hear her, like turn into a puddle. But the big thing is, for this, I thought, showing like the animations of how they're gonna dust vampires. That does it in like 7 or 8 different pictures or whatever, and each going a little wider. But by them doing it in slow motion, and then having like just no music and like no sound effects at all. It's just like that's the strangest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, I like it. I like how they shot. I was like, oh, all right. Well, now I know how it was done. I honestly, I think I've seen this before. I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago. But yeah, I had totally forgotten about that scene. But yeah, so that's it. So you can see how that was from one year to the next. That was Buffy was like Sarah Michelle Gellar was only 16 years old when she filmed that pilot, and the only other teenager in that episode was Harmony. So there you go, Mercedes picked out. Guys, we went through this in our new record time, but this is only our second episode, so what are you gonna do? But I like it. This is the kind of pace, guys, that I like. Now I was just wondering, Ferris, maybe we could take a little more time. I'm just kidding. I can see that Ferris is good to go here, I think. So, guys, we're gonna move on. Ferris, before you nod out on us, is there anything you'd like to plug on this good old ship, Let's Get Ready Network?
Yeah, man. Every Friday, 3:00 on our sports channels. It's Good Friends, Better Rivals. We do our American football show. It's me and Caleb, and every Friday, 8:00 Pacific, is me and Adelia's conversation show. Me and her, the Open Table. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't, where we just talk and have a good time. Last week we talked about fan theories. We brought French Taunton on to talk about his fan theories of Star Wars and just general. As well as every Wednesday, 9:00 East Pacific, 12:00 midnight Eastern, I got something to say on KSFS Radio.
Very good. Adelia, what do you have going
on? Well, like Farrah said, on this channel, on every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific, is the Open Table. Don't know what we're talking about yet this week, but we'll figure it out. And every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on the Highlights Sports Channel is Starting 11, me and Snark talking about the English Premier League. Next week's episode is a very special episode. It's our 50th. We'll be doing it live. So we're going to have Ferris on, hopefully. So looking forward to that. Links to the channels are in the description of this video, by the way.
Very nice. Also, weekends on Let's Get Ready Network, LGRN After Snark. I talk with Danny about whatever we're going to talk about. I guess nowadays we have to figure out something beforehand. But guys, we're going to figure it out like at the the least amount of time we have to get, because I usually have no idea. We've been talking a lot of video game stuff lately. So hopefully not video game stuff, but we'll see. We're going to talk about whatever we're going to talk about. Thanks so much for joining us. Next week is Witch. So the first episode, non-vampire, whenever you get to explore different monsters, we get Witch, and we get to meet some more characters that will probably stick around for a little while anyways, as semi-regulars, but that's next week for Witch. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Rewatchers Council, and we will see you next time.